Did you know that suicide is the second leading cause of death among people ages 10 to 24 and has been increasing every day since 2007? A friend of mine that was in the same youth group as me decided to take his own life. I know that many of you may know someone or may know of somebody that has tried to or has committed suicide. And every day in our nation, there is at least 5,400 attempts of people in grades 7 to 12. The problem with these teen suicides is isolation, depression, anxiety, and the lack of resources to address these mental illnesses. The definition of isolation is a policy of remaining apart from affairs of other groups or other interests of groups. An explanation of isolation is exactly what we all went through, which was the COVID-19 pandemic. We were home 24/7 without any social interaction with friends or family. We would sit in our room not knowing what to do and dwelling on the thoughts in our minds. An example of isolations results in depression and anxiety. And further down the road, it leads to worse and worse things, causing way more problems. And according to the CDC, teenage emergency room visits increased significantly during the COVID-19 pandemic. There was a 50% rise in females and a 4% rise in males. What's the difference between the female and males? We don't know. The personal experience that I went through during the isolation was because of the COVID-19 pandemic. I would receive letters from the mail from different people and different friends, different family members, explaining to me of what they were going through and why they were going through it. And most of it was because of the isolation. And I had the opportunity to share what I was going through and how to get through it together. The institutional cause is the mental health condition. Risk factors include substance use orders, family history of mood disorders, and physical or sexual abuse, and most recently, the COVID-19 pandemic and quarantine. So, where do we go from here? What's the solution? Well, the solution is to create spaces for teens to feel safe, be comfortable going to share their emotions and to share what they're going through. Also, to focus on having more counselors. If that means having more counselors every day, every week, every month, just to check up on the students that are in need, and for those students to share what they're going through with the people that they can trust. A definition of a safe space is free of bias, criticism, and conflict. It's a place where a person can go to not having to worry about anything that they say and not having anything against them. An explanation for a safe space is not to judge or condemn a person, but to encourage and help a person in need. We all need encouragement in our lives, and it's not a bad thing to have counselors in our lives. So an example of a safe space would be a counselor's office at your school, or to go to your parents at your home, or a friend that you trust the most and that you can talk to. My experience was in relation to my pastors at my local church and the teachers that I trust most at my school. And I understand that most of you probably won't face, or some of you might not face, suicidal thoughts or isolation, depression, anxiety, or any of the things that I listed. But we all need to focus on having and being aware about the people around us and having to be aware of our peers' mental health status. So the action step would be what? What I would like for all of my peers to do is to sign petitions and create laws to be more aware of our mental health and illnesses and the mental health awarenesses around us in our society today. So please, what we would all like to do is once you sign those petitions so that we can make these laws, you send it to the most nearest local representative that's the closest to you. For example, local representative John Carter in Round Rock, Texas. But imagine if we could all sign these petitions and to all make laws that would end suicidal thoughts, that would end teenage suicides, or at least decrease them significantly. What if we lived in a world that we would feel safe and comfortable about sharing what we're going through, sharing what our feelings are? So we need to be the people that are encouraging and that would be there for anyone that's going through with something. And but imagine a world that where we didn't have to suffer, we didn't have to worry about the depression and the anxiety that we have to go through every day. And some people in today's society, people go through that every single day. So what if we would be the people to encourage and to get rid of those problems? Let's be the people to end this problem and to decrease or get rid of the teen suicide in today's society.